Air quality readings tested positive for elevated levels in the area surrounding the Bluegrass Stockyards. That is why the Lexington Fire Department continues to ask folks to avoid the area. They're also offering some advice for those who live nearby.
I remember sitting on those steps, eating candy.
For many, Bluegrass Stockyards is not just a large building where cattle were sold. It's a place that holds a lot of lifelong memories.
Bluegrass Stockyards wasn't the only business the fire damaged. We'll take a look at what's left of one.
This is WKYT News at 11.
It's catastrophic, not only from a historical perspective, but operationally, it's going to be a lot of heavy lifting here for a while.
Firefighters are still on the scene tonight, 40 hours after a fire destroyed a historic Lexington business. Crews are cleaning up what's left of the Bluegrass Stockyards. Thanks for staying up with WKYT. I'm Kristen Kennedy. Firefighters have been putting in some long hours this week, and they plan on being on the scene for several more days. The Stockyards fire started around 2 yesterday afternoon on Lyle Industrial Avenue. Firefighters say the flames destroyed close to 10 acres. We've learned tonight at least 49 cattle died in the fire. The COO says the company's transaction information is computer-driven. They back up all of their records off-site.
Obviously beginning to calm down here this morning. Our main concern is at this point communicating with our employees and our customers to make sure we've got everybody taken care of.
Firefighters are still trying to figure out what started that massive fire, and leaders with the Kentucky Department of Environmental Protection are keeping an eye on the air quality. Crews say some of the nearby neighborhoods tested positive for slightly elevated levels of fine solids. WKYT's Hillary Thornton is talking to fire crews about the dangers the smoke brings with it.
The work has not stopped around the Bluegrass Stockyards as the Lexington Fire Department continues their efforts at the site, monitoring and putting out hot spots. They're also making sure those outside of the yellow tape living nearby are safe.
There was a lot of smoke and there was a lot of the wind, and it did move it around quite a bit.
A heavy dark smoke filling the area. Neighbors describe the sunshine-filled afternoon sky turning as dark as night within minutes. Smoke that could be seen towns away, billowing from the city's worst fire in decades. It is no surprise that smoke is now having an impact on air quality.
We're seeing readings of a little bit higher particles that are in the air.
Fire officials say those air quality readings in surrounding neighborhoods are consistent with what they would expect to find following a fire of this magnitude.
It's normal for a fire of this size to produce this. We're not seeing anything out of the ordinary.
Now, as a much lighter smoke moves throughout the rubble, firefighters along with the Kentucky Department of Environmental Protection are keeping a close eye on those levels.
Make sure that it doesn't change. If it goes up, we're going to let anyone know if it should start to drop.
Meanwhile, asking folks within about a half-mile radius of the devastating fire, especially those with pre-existing or chronic respiratory illnesses, to follow some simple steps to protect yourselves.
Try to stay away if you can. If you don't need to travel down through there, just stay away. And for those, if you live in that area, just keep your door shut, keep your windows down, and just try to stay inside. That's the safest place to be right now.
In Lexington, Hillary Thornton, WKYT.
The fire at the Stockyards has affected many. A lot of people made a lot of memories at that historic building, and some who haven't visited the area in years came back today to see the damage for themselves. WKYT's Caitlin Sentner continues our team coverage. She talked to a woman who grew up going to the Stockyards.
Look, there's the steps right there. I remember sitting on those steps, eating candy, wait for the trucks to come down. They're here. I'd watch for them, holler for Dad, tell him he's better get to work.
For the first time in 10 years, Brittany Newby stepped onto the Bluegrass Stockyards grounds. It was a surreal sight for her, something that was hard to stomach.
Brittany refers to the Bluegrass Stockyards as her Disneyland when she was growing up, but these flashing lights and police tape are not at all close to what she remembers.
Nobody could understand why I wanted to come here so much.
From the time she was born until she turned 16, the stockyards were her stomping grounds. She fancied the catwalk standing 9 to 10 feet above ground.
Running back and forth, but there was this one spot on the catwalk and it was like tilted, like it was tilted, it was unlevel. And it used to scare me, and I'd always stand like where it was level, and I would stand there and I would just think about, okay, I'm gonna go across here, but I was always afraid it was gonna fall through.
The catwalk is no longer. In fact, not much is left but rubble and lingering smoke.
It was a blessing from God, really, and that everyone could get out safe.
Bluegrass Stockyards says they will rebuild, but a part of Lexington's history was lost Saturday.
And even though that the building's gone and memories will stop being made here, you know, the ones that were already made will definitely be cherished.
In Lexington, Caitlin Setner, WKYT.
Owners are still discussing the details of the rebuilding process. The stockyard owners already have temporary plans to keep business running. They've expanded sale dates at some of their other facilities. The COO says Mount Sterling will pick up Lexington sales Monday and Tuesday starting at 8:30 in the morning. A bred heifer sale supposed to be in Lexington this week is now scheduled for Thursday evening at 6:30 at their Richmond location. Flames and smoke from the stockyards fire damaged 5 other neighboring businesses. One of the businesses across the street from the stockyards, Slim's Towing, suffered extensive damage. The owner, Dwayne Harris, estimates the fire destroyed more than 100 cars on his lot. Harris tells us several other towing businesses have stepped in to help him.
I've got my truck stored at Metro Towing right now, so they opened their doors. Bluegrass Towing, Lee Roberts called me. He said, if you need a truck, he said, I'll throw you a truck out there to help you going until you get things going.
Other businesses on Forbes Road weren't damaged, but had to deal with no power last night. Remember, you can keep track of all updates on the massive fire on our website, WKYT.com, and with our WKYT News app. We are tracking some rain tonight after an unusually warm weekend across the Bluegrass. Those showers will bring with them some cooler temperatures. WKYT meteorologist Jim Caldwell has an early look at our work week forecast.
Very warm weekend out there. Officially out at the airport, got up to 69 degrees today. That is impressive, and we'll likely do it again at least one more day before a big-time cool-down starts to push in later on this week. Tonight, though, it's all about the showers and a frontal boundary that's driving them into the area. We're tracking some general light and occasionally maybe a moderate shower. One of those in question that we are watching out there, you can see it's just north of Paris. We're coming in on some of those yellows and a little bit of orange, which would mean that you have some heavier rain embedded there. Light rain still falling there in Georgetown up to Cynthiana. We move back toward the west a little bit, and you see right there along Bluegrass Parkway tracking another little band of some moderate showers coming together. Again, this isn't a big deal with this frontal boundary. What it's going to do is it's going to take the warmth out of the air. We're running the 60s at the moment. Very pleasant out there. Well, we got that cooler stuff just up the road. But the true focus of the forecast is that we're tracking a severe weather maker coming up for Tuesday going into Wednesday. We'll track it hour by hour coming up in just a few minutes.
The Fayette County coroner has identified the woman killed in an overnight crash in Lexington. The coroner says 45-year-old Gina Pritchett died in the wreck. Police believe around 3 this morning she lost control of her car and hit a pole near the intersection of Lane Allen and Harrodsburg Road. Funeral arrangements are still pending. State police are still trying to figure out what caused the death of a teenager at a Hardin County Juvenile Detention Center. They found 16-year-old Gina McMillan dead earlier this month in her room at the Lincoln Village Regional Detention Center. McMillan had just arrived at the center. Police say the day before she had a fight with her mother. A 911 call shows it took workers 11 minutes to start CPR after they found McMillan unresponsive.
Y'all have a CPR protocol, or do y'all need it?
I'm new. I can find out. I don't know.
That's fine. I'm getting everybody on the way there. I can talk somebody through CPR if need be.
No, you don't have to do that.
Okay. We'll get everybody on the way there.
A spokesperson for the Department of Juvenile Justice says a staff member used a martial arts technique to restrain McMillan several hours before her death. The state says they have also placed an employee on paid leave for failing to make all the required visual bed checks. Deputies in Jessamine County found the second teenager that had been missing since last week. Deputies believe 14-year-old Taylor Garland from Nicholasville. and 16-year-old Alex Evans from Owensboro left town together. They found Garland last night and found Evans around 5:30 this afternoon. Still to come on WKYT News, 2 men are in the hospital after an explosion in eastern Kentucky. Why it took hours for crews to put out the flames. Plus, it's down to the wire with the Iowa caucuses. We'll hear from the candidates and their final plea to voters.
Hi, I'm Travis Morgan with North Broadway Auto Sales. We've been in business for over 20 years. We've got over 200 cars in inventory and thousands of happy customers.
At North Broadway Auto Sales, we never put GPS tracking devices on our cars.
Why pay $500 a month in another car lot when you come here and pay as low as $250 a month?
At North Broadway Auto Sales, everybody rides.
En North Broadway Auto Sales, todos manejan.
When you slip and hurt yourself at a business, we find that oftentimes these stores have a history of being dirty. Think about the dirtiest store you know, and we're probably thinking of the same one. If you slip and fall and hurt yourself, do 2 things. Take a picture of the accident scene and request in writing the videotape from the store. If they don't give you the videotape, that letter will be a great advantage should your case go to trial. Visit forthepeople.com for more information. Morgan & Morgan, for the people.
Serious fire threatening many businesses near downtown Lexington.
This fire has just been going on for hours. Acres worth of damage here.
Smoke could be seen as far away as Louisville.
What that looks like on radar to a normal person would be, oh, there's a shower. That is the smoke plume itself.
This was a very old historical building. A lot of memories. We'll rebuild. We can go on.
There are places very close to the fire that they protected. They obviously kept it cut off going down this way. A lot of effort.
We have what you've been looking for, convenient and affordable dentistry. I'm Dr. Jessica Kress with Commonwealth Smiles. From general, cosmetic, and family dentistry to a solution for snoring and sleep apnea, we know your smile is worth it. Call us today at Commonwealth Smiles.
How's everything taste tonight, folks?
The steak is amazing. Where'd you get your beef?
As a chef, it's important to know where your food comes from. That's why we buy local and Kentucky-raised food.
We're the Pettit family from Webster County, Kentucky.
We started out raising commercial cattle. It's a calling.
It's a
That's
way of
the
life.
natural progression, you know, a way of life.
We take a lot of pride knowing that what I set on the table for our supper at night is a good product.
We are a Kentucky farm family, feeding Kentucky.
Feeding the world. Get weather plus traffic with a WKYT weather app. Have the Defender radar network in the palm of your hand while checking your driving conditions for your commute on the same screen. Weather plus traffic on the WKYT weather app. WKYT First Alert Weather is brought to you by Cartown Kia. Now, your hour-by-hour forecast with meteorologist Jim Caldwell.
Showers are in the area, and we're going to continue to track them, looks like, through the overnight hours and into the first part of your Monday. I think as the afternoon and evening gets here, we're in pretty good shape, though, all across most of Kentucky. Right now running in the 60s in most locations, still 63 here in Lexington, 61 down the road in Richmond, and that's with the showers passing through the area. Let's check them out a little more up close and personal. We'll animate them and we'll zoom in on them here, and you can see those. Generally light in nature, but this one area that we've been tracking just north of Paris, right there along the Harrison and Bourbon County line, we're tracking a little heavier shower that's on its way out of here as well. And you'll run into those from time to time, like this one that's now basically right on top of the Bluegrass Parkway and will continue to work its way east-northeast through the overnights. And again, a little pocket of moderate rainfall here and there. All part of a much larger system. Frontal boundary driving in, bringing us some much cooler air too. I mean, well, I don't want to say much cooler. It'll be very pleasant tomorrow afternoon. Still in the upper 40s, low 50s, but it won't be close to 70 degrees, at least not tomorrow. With the help of this system, it will be on Tuesday. We're probably in the low 70s in many spots with winds whistling through the air, probably anywhere from 40, 50 miles per hour. Very impressive. That's out ahead of any thunderstorms that even roll into Kentucky. Let's get to that point. Let's first of all get that front through here tonight. So you track the showers through the area. We're at 6 o'clock in the morning. Rain starts to move out by midday. Good shape. A little bit cooler, but again, not bad. Warm front will then take shape and check back up across Kentucky and well into the Great Lakes, and this just opens up a lot of moisture from the Gulf of Mexico and a strong southerly wind that's going to transport a lot of milder air into our area. front starts to interact with all of that, and we run into a line of thunderstorms that likely develops. Strong to severe storms possible at this time. We're looking at strong winds. Isolated tornadic threat is certainly thrown into the mix as well. And then you've got heavy rounds of rain associated with some of these thunderstorms too. So we have several different things we have to watch out for when these storms get here. They continue into eastern Kentucky early on Wednesday morning. Winds, as I mentioned, out ahead of this are really going to be whipping around here. 70 on Tuesday for your high, 61. That should be around midnight. Temperatures fall through the day. By the afternoon and evening hours, I think we'll end up in the 30s. Maybe as that system pulls away completely, we could have a few flakes flying through the air with some of the energy around. Same thing there on Thursday. And you can see a much colder end of the week coming our way, Kristen.
So when's it going to warm back up?
That's what we really want, right? We want that warm air to come back. It'll be a while.
Thank you, Jim.
In less than 24 hours, the Iowa caucuses will kick off the 2016 presidential election. I'm Weijia Zhang in Des Moines, Iowa, with how campaigns are scrambling to secure votes. Coming up.
Have you ever heard of floating to relax? An NBA star does it, and now you can in Lexington.
You essentially can't see anything.
WKYT's Sam Dick shows you a new way to unwind in a hectic world. Floating to relax, Monday at 6 on WKYT. Thank you for once again making WKYT your most watched television station. There is a difference in local news, and you help us prove it every day. Thank you. WKYT stands for Kentucky.
Can't wait to try these wings.
I know. And apparently this spicy honey barbecue sauce is so good, it'll change your life.
Yeah?
Mom and Dad, can I borrow the car?
Our son's in a boy band?
We have a son?
Life-changing? Maybe. Indescribably good? Definitely. The boneless wings meal with spicy honey barbecue sauce, served with crinkle fries and a small drink. Zaxby's. Indescribably good.
Game days are here, and Perry's American Furniture has everything you need to celebrate with the cats in style. TV, consoles, and entertainment centers, dining tables, a comfy couch to watch the game on. Come see us at Perry's American Furniture Gallery, 1176 Industry Road.
Do you have to get in a car accident for your insurance to matter? What if you could get help with more often? You can when you're a member and your insurance is AAA.
Looking to fall in love this Valentine's Day? Fall in love with summer at the Kentucky Sport Boat and Recreation Show. Make it a date or bring the entire family. You're going to fall in love with the selection and savings. Shop the latest boats, RVs, and motorsports. Zipline across Rupp Arena with Red River Gorge Zipline. Brought to you by Kentucky Select Chevy Dealers. This year's special guest is everyone's favorite angler, G-Man, Gerald Swindle. Visit the Kentucky Sport Boat and Recreation Show. Brought to you by Lee's Ford Marina.
This is Brett Melrose. With winter almost here, the experienced team at Fayette Heating and Air stands ready to serve you. Dedicated to keeping you and your family comfortable around the clock. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, with no additional overtime fees ever. Fayette Heating and Air, we're the biggest because we're the best. And we're here for you anytime, day or night. Call 233-0424. Fayette Heating and Air, complete home solutions.
Tuesday night's Mega Millions jackpot is $63 million. Wednesday night's Powerball jackpot is $112 million. We are less than 24 hours away from the official kickoff of the 2016 presidential election. Voters in Iowa will show the nation which campaigns can turn support into turnout. Weijia Zhang reports from Iowa.
Presidential candidates are crisscrossing Iowa to seal the deal, begging their backers to caucus on Monday night.
Monday night could be an historic night for this country.
Democrats Bernie Sanders and Hillary Clinton are separated by just 3 points in the latest poll. Martin O'Malley is in a distant third. If his supporters jump ship, they could be the deciding factors. On the GOP side, Donald Trump has a slight lead over Ted Cruz.
Commit tomorrow night to come out and caucus for us.
On the campaign trail, his tour bus got stuck in the mud and needed a tow. Meanwhile, Trump campaigned with the Reverend Jerry Falwell Jr., trying to win over evangelicals. They they're one of the most reliable groups to caucus.
If we can come out of Iowa with a nice victory, it's so important.
Volunteers are also giving a final push, canvassing across the state.
Hey, this is Ollie from the Bernie campaign. How you doing?
And making tens of thousands of phone calls. Political experts say this late in the game, volunteers should not be trying to change people's minds, but making sure already committed voters actually show up on caucus night.
You have to be in line by 7. If you're not in line, your vote will not be counted.
Bad weather threatens much of the state, but the candidates are hoping it holds off until after the caucuses.
And that was Weijia Zhang reporting. Caucus meetings for Iowa Democrats and Republicans start at 7 Central Time tomorrow. Leaders at a Northern Kentucky college have fired their campus safety director. They say he's been indicted on child porn charges. Thomas More College leaders fired 53-year-old Robert Marshall late last week. Officers arrested Marshall Wednesday after a year-long investigation. Covington police say Marshall faces 36 counts of possession of matter portraying a sexual performance by a minor. Police say a witness reported finding the material on Marshall's home computer. Marshall had worked at the college since 1999. 2 men are recovering tonight after an explosion at a home in Pike County. Shelby Valley volunteer firefighters say the fire happened on Robinson Creek Road around 5 Saturday afternoon. Right now they believe a gas explosion caused the fire. Firefighters say the 2 men were working on a motorcycle when the fire started. They managed to escape, but they did suffer some severe burns. The fire took crews hours to put out.
The structure did have a basement in it, so it kind of hampered our firefighting efforts when the floor fell through.
Crews rushed the men to a hospital in West Virginia. Firefighters say the homeowner's pet died in the explosion. Firefighters in Rockcastle County had their hands full tonight after a car caught on fire on the highway. Dispatchers tell us a car caught fire on US 461 near the Pulaski County line. No one was injured. Firefighters were able to put out the flames pretty quickly. Lee K's in next with sports. Coach Cal seemed pretty proud of his team last night despite the outcome of the game.
You know, he did. He said that he liked the way that his team fought, but something else had him sick to his stomach. And Kentucky's women's team faced an uphill battle in Gainesville this afternoon. Those highlights are next in sports.
Get the latest forecast wherever you are with the WKYT First Alert Weather Fastcast, powered by Kentucky Lottery, only on WKYT.com. Bringing the news to you when TV isn't an option. WKYT News, now streaming live on your mobile device. Always here, so you can be anywhere.
Hi, Shane Huffman with the Neil Huffman Automotive Group, and we're celebrating the grand opening of Neil Huffman Honda in Frankfort, where you can get 2 brand new 2016 Honda Accords for just $499 a month. All those details are on our website, and remember, Huffman has it now in Frankfort.
Known for our small town feel and big city care, we have been saving patients money for 30 years. When you need medical imaging, tell your doctor you have a choice. Call and compare prices. Lexington Diagnostic Center and Open MRI.
Every morning is an eye-opening morning on CBS This Morning. Start with responsible, intelligent information and conversation.
Take me back to that moment that we just saw in this confrontation.
Searchers race to save people trapped for days in Colorado. In an interview you'll see only on CBS This Morning.
Start with world-class original reporting. Start thinking. CBS This Morning.
98.1 The Bull and Hardee's presents the Red, White, and Boom Music Festival 2016.
Starring Jason Aldean,
Eric Church,
Florida Georgia Line,
Thomas Rhett,
Cole Swindell,
Casey Musgraves,
and many more.
Powered by the Lexington Clinic. Labor Day weekend, September 2nd through the 4th at the Whitaker Bank Ballpark, Lexington.
Tickets on sale now at
redwhiteandboom.com.
At WKYT, we stand for Kentucky. We stand for the people of this great Commonwealth. We stand for hard work and for those who aren't afraid to get their hands dirty. We stand for the little guy, and we root for the underdog, if we ever had to. We stand with Kentucky through hardships and through triumphs, through uncertainty and through tragedy. We stand for the big city and the rolling hills alike. And we stand for the one unifying factor that brings us all together. Pride. Pride in our home state, in where we've been, and in where we're going. At WKYT, we always have been, and we always will be, standing right here with you. WKYT stands for Kentucky.
Following Saturday's loss at Kansas, John Calipari said, if you watched the game, you'd probably say it was a heck of a game, but I'm sick to my stomach. That's because his team failed to consistently make winning plays. He said that his guys still played about 5 minutes of losing basketball. The Cats also missed all 4 of their free throws in overtime. And despite the loss, Cal was proud of the way that his team fought.
Those kids gave everything they could. They fought like heck. They came in this building expecting to win. Basically we changed how we played. We opened up the court and just said we're going to try to beat them on the dribble. And we had a short turn and they did it. But we still, when the game is in the guts of the game, we're just learning now what it means to win and the plays you must make and the plays, just as importantly, you don't make, not at winning time.
Well, there is no question who the leader is for this group of Wildcats. Tyler Ulis playing all 45 minutes of the overtime game, the first Kentucky player to do so since John Wall in 2009. Ulis scored a career-high 26 points in the loss, dishing out 8 assists and committing just 2 turnovers. Calipari said, we were relying on Ulis too much and he couldn't get a break. Now, it was Ulis's 9th game this season with at least 20 points and 5 assists. That's the most of any Wildcat in any season. To put that in perspective for you, Kyle Macy and Jamal Mashburn each had 7 20 and 5 games in a season. The last UK player with 26 points and 8 assists in a game was a guy named Jack Givens in 1976. Ulis is the first Wildcat with at least 4 assists in 14 consecutive games since Sean Woods in the 1990-91 season. Well, the Kentucky women's team has had its share of ups and downs this season. A win over Tennessee sandwiched between losses to Ole Miss and Vandy. Today, the 12th-ranked Hoops team at Florida beginning a stretch of 4 of their next 5 games on the road. Kentucky would trail by as many as 10 in the first half. Alyssa Rice gives Kentucky the lead. Florida, though, was up by 6 at the break. In the 4th, Florida takes its largest lead. Elena Kristinaki lays it in. Gators up 71-59. Under 3 minutes to go. Wildcats still playing from behind. Michaela Epps with the steal, and the score cuts the Florida lead to 5. Epps was at the free throw line with 44 seconds to play. She made the first, misses the second, but Evelyn Akator puts back the rebound. 79-77. 20 seconds to go. Florida up by 4. Epps drives. She had 27, back to a 2-point game. But following a Gators free throw, Cats inbounding down 82-79. The pass is stolen by Kristinaki. She's going the other way for the hoop and the harm, and that would do it. 85-79 the final, a second straight loss for UK on a season-high 30 turnovers.
There's a lot of fight in the team. It's just like we sometimes show it at the wrong times or we flip it on and off, and that's something we got to work on as a team. But, credit the team. We fought hard. Like Coach said, we was there. 30 turnovers. We was in position to win the game. A couple bad bounces of the balls, and it just happens. But we're still fighting, and I'm sure Coach and them are going to have a good practice plan for us to get better and get back at it this week.
Boys championship at the All-A Classic. Cordia going for its first ever state basketball title, facing Murray. Malik Henry working inside for 2. Look at the big fella work. Gets the friendly bounce. Cordia led 24-17 at the half. Third quarter now. Kareem McDonald drains it from the wing. McDonald had 11. And it's the tournament MVP, Anthony Nelson, driving in and scoring. He led the Lions with 14, and you can let the celebration begin for Roderick Rhodes' team. Cordia claims the All-A state title, 62-45.
Those kids stuck through all the adversity and all the stuff that the school and the community went through, and they believed in our vision, and we saw ourselves here if we ever got a chance to play in it. So I'm just happy for these kids.
Super Bowl 50 is 1 week away right here on WKYT. Both the Broncos and the Panthers made their way to California today in preparation for the big game. Top players, meanwhile, from the other 30 NFL teams in Hawaii this evening for the Pro Bowl. Team Irvin, with the ball up by a touchdown in the final minute of the first half. Former Louisville Cardinal Teddy Bridgewater throws it up. A.J. Green goes up and gets it. May have got away with a little push there inside the 10-yard line. 2 plays later, Bridgewater finds Darren Sproles. That's a touchdown, 28-14. We go to the third quarter. Bridgewater still in at quarterback, looking downfield, finds the Jaguars. Allen Robinson, Team Irvin pulls away, 49-27. It's the Pro Bowl. It doesn't mean anything, but it was odd not having an NFL football game on a Sunday in quite some time. So Super Bowl next week right here on KYT.
And all those players had a lot of fun out there.
Absolutely.
We'll be right back with a final look at weather.
I couldn't get work opportunities without a high school diploma.
And I said, it's time for me to go back to school, get my GED, and further my education.
It was a feeling that I cannot explain. Once I received that GED, I decided to keep going to college and do something.
My son and I, we are stable. I pay the bills. I'm able to do all that because I got a GED.
For a limited time, the GED test is 50% off for Kentuckians. Find out more by contacting your Kentucky Adult Education Program today.
You're probably wondering, with all the meat that Arby's has, do they have ocean meat? Well, wonder no longer. Arby's has more wild-caught Alaskan pollock fillets than you could ever imagine, especially if you're only imagining one fillet. Eat 2 crispy fish fillet sandwiches or flatbreads for $5. Arby's, we have the meats.
No 2 babies are alike. And no 2 birthing experiences are alike. At the Women's Hospital at St. Joseph East, we believe you should have your baby your way, with a birthing plan designed around you and a level 3 neonatal ICU. A personalized childbirth experience isn't just good for mom, it's good for baby. Kentucky One Health, the one name in healthcare.
At the end of the broadcast, I'm most proud of what we have done as a team. This is the ultimate team sport, television news, and all of the people that have contributed to that night's broadcast, people who have risked their lives to tell the news and to deliver to the American people the highest quality news broadcast in the world today. That is a very satisfying feeling.
Every family has one member.
I'm a professional nerd.
Who says whatever's on their mind. Name something your wife has that's bigger than yours.
My wife gotta have a big old butt.
Or else this ain't going down. I can't do it. Gots to have a bigger butt.
Family Feud, 1 full hour starting at 7 on the CW Lexington. Stay connected to the news that matters to you, like WKYT on Facebook.
So when's that rain start?
We've got a little bit of shower activity out there right now. It gets a little more active overnight for a lot of us, and then we start tracking some showers and thunderstorms Tuesday and Wednesday. Likely a severe weather day there. It's all about the timing on when that front gets into town.
Thanks for watching us right here on WKYT. Have a good night.